Good afternoon, St. Joseph School families. So I wanted to take a few minutes in this week's video to talk about a somewhat uncomfortable topic, and that's safety, security, and our school procedures. Now, this has been a project we've been working in our building all year long, and in particular since we returned from Christmas break. While initially I was unsure about sharing all the information in a video or sending it in an email, we've really been advised that sharing your safety and response protocols does not have any danger to your community and in fact helps your community respond in the event of a true emergency. So this afternoon, I want to inform you of a few measures we've been working on since the beginning of the year. Now, first of all, we've been partnering with West St. Paul Police all year, and they have been awesome to us. They've been a constant presence at our school masses on Wednesday mornings since back in September, but they've also helped advise us on a number of security procedures. So on January 2nd, we had a training for all staff members on how to handle an active assailant situation led by an experienced SWAT leader on the police force. Now, this is a hard training to attend as nobody wants to think about such scenarios, but we really received some excellent advice on situational awareness so that in the event of such a scenario, we can empower our teachers to think on their feet and get everyone to safety as soon as possible. We also recently conducted a walkthrough with West St. Paul Police to look through our building to prioritize the biggest security enhancement needs. Now, as you may know, half of our Give Day money from earlier this year is allocated particularly to safety and security enhancements. And this walkthrough helped us move some items higher or lower on our priority list. In the coming months, I'll be working with our School Advisory Council to get bids and make purchases on these highest priority items. Now, in our discussions with West St. Paul Police, we also learned about a security protocol called the I Love You Guys Standard Response Protocols, which is a clear way of communicating and leading a response in the event of any emergency. It's used by many schools in the area, and while many of the ways we've been currently conducting drills are very similar to this protocol, we've been revising our emergency procedures to match this language. So I'd like to take a minute right now just to go over the 5 actions we would use in the event of any emergency and that we would be drilling against such an emergency. So the first procedure is what's called a hold. This can happen in the event of any medical issue or an ambulance needing to come or paramedics needing to come in the hallway or any unfinished maintenance issue. In a true hold, everybody stays in their classroom or their area. We clear all hallways, but any students that are outside with their classes stay outside. We close and lock all doors. We account for all students and adults, and we actually keep teaching or staying on recess or in the cafeteria or doing whatever we are as usual until there is an all clear. Now, the second such action is what's called a secure. A secure happens when there's a threat or hazard outside of the school building, such as criminal activity or say a dangerous animal on the playground. In a secure, everybody comes inside and we lock the outside doors. We increase our situational awareness, we account for all of our students, but we actually do business in the building as usual. We change classes, we move in the hallways, we go to lunch, we just don't go outside. Nobody can come out, nobody can come in until we hear the all clear. Now, the third type scenario is a lockdown. Lockdowns can happen when there's a security threat that is in your building. In the event of a lockdown, we bring students in from the hallway if it's possible. We lock our classroom doors, we turn out lights, we move out of lines of sight, we maintain silence, and we don't open the doors for anyone. Now, if there are students who are in the hallway, we bring them into an office area as quickly as we can, or they evacuate, but we prepare ourselves to evacuate or resist if necessary. Now, in a true lockdown, what you would be doing is you would be locking down a part of the building where there is an active threat, but likely evacuating other parts of the building that are safe to do so. Now, that leads to the next procedure, which is an evacuate. An evacuate happens in the event of a fire, but also gas leak or any other emergency where we have to leave the building, often relocating somewhere else. In an evacuate, it's very much like a fire drill. We lead students to an evacuation location. You leave stuff behind if it's feasible. Again, if it's winter, you might bring a coat if there is time to do so. You account for all of your students, and if necessary, we would do pickup in an alternate location like a school in our area or a park in our area if we have to evacuate and not come back to the building. Again, most evacuations like fire drills, you're usually able to return to the building. And the fifth action is what's called a shelter. It's when we shelter in place in our building. In a shelter, we lead the appropriate safety strategy. So again, a tornado, we would go to the lowest floor. Same thing with severe weather. In the event of flooding, it would be going to the highest ground. In the event of hazmat situation, you would seal the room. And in the super unlikely event of an earthquake, we would drop, cover, and hold. We don't get a whole lot of earthquakes here in Minnesota. Now, while we practiced our evacuation procedures through fire drills earlier this school year, in the weeks that come, we're going to be practicing our hold and secure and our lockdown procedures as a safety precaution. Now, a couple of quick parent reminders. In the event of a secure or a lockdown, we can't let anyone into the building. So as a parent, it is completely natural in such a situation to either call the school or want to come pick up your child. The reality is, in each of these scenarios, we can't tie up the phone lines and we can't let anyone into the building in a true lockdown. Now again, none of this is our favorite topic to speak about or be reminded of, but it's very important information for us to review each year. In the coming years, I plan on reviewing our safety and security procedures near the beginning of each school year in a newsletter or a video just like this. So thank you for your attention to this, and have a wonderful weekend.